Hello, everyone that's joining the webinar. We will give you a minute or two to log in, and then we will start the meeting. So please get comfortable, grab a cup of coffee, and lean back in your chairs. Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this webinar on how the city of Kyiv adapted their app when they suddenly were at war. So to start this webinar off, some ground rules. You can see our slides are in Swedish and Norwegian. But we want to say welcome to our international visitors, listeners. The webinar will fully be in English, and we will be discussing the content on these introductory slides in English, so you will understand everything. So the ground rules for today, we'll start now at 10 local Swedish time, 11 Kyiv time, and we start off with an introduction of the participants. Then we will hand over to Victoria Itskovych from City of Kyiv to tell you about their digital communication in the form of an app. Please ask your questions in the Q&A functionality of the Zoom webinar. Victoria will pick up some questions live during her presentation, and some we will save until a final wrap-up. So we are really proud to have with us Victoria Itskovych from she is the Deputy Director of IT, Deputy CIO of the Kyiv City Council. And correct me if I'm wrong, Victoria, you are also the head of Kyiv Digital, the team responsible for the Kyiv app.
Yeah, you can say so. So I'm responsible for the whole IT portfolio of Kyiv City, and Kyiv Digital is one of our projects.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. With us, we also have Bjarte Falk Olsen, who is one of the founders here at Itskovych Sweden and also head of our marketing. So please say hi, Bjarte, and Bjarte will be monitoring all your questions.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Yeah, Bjarte from a very inspiring conference room here at Haga. Right, and after the webinar, you will get a recording and of this webinar in your email. You will get our presentation, you will get Victoria's presentation, and contact information to all of us in the webinar. So please reach out to us when we are finished. So, and quick about Itskovych, those of you who haven't met us. We are responsible for what we call the citizen app. That is an app used by about 20 municipalities in Sweden and Norway. We also do custom development and build web pages for larger entities. We have a WordPress we have a communication strategy department as well. Bjarte is one of those responsible for that one. And you can find us in, I think there are more locations than we show here, but Oslo, Stockholm, Bergen, Tønsberg, is that right, Bjarte? Yes. Åre, and we have a large team in Lviv, in Ukraine. And that's also how we found the city of Kyiv. We are about 60 people in the team, and working with relevant communication and technical solutions for that. But enough about us, and on to the most important topic of today. Victoria, please take it away. And I will
Thank you,
stop screen
Thomas.
sharing so you can share your presentation.
Thank you, Thomas. 1 second. I will share. Do you see my presentation?
Yes, we can see it.
That's great. And now I'll open also maybe 1 second. Sorry for this. I want to open also the Q&A session, what I did the previous time, but now I see that somehow I can't do it.
Nah, Gerte can monitor it for you as well.
Okay.
So no worries.
1 second. It's strange, because I can't open the Q&A session now.
Yeah. If you move the mouse pointer to the top of your screen and let it hover there for a while, does that open up menus for you? No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
No, Victoria, we will monitor the questions
Oh,
for you.
yeah. Maybe you can. You will tell me when the question is.
We will.
I found it. Now I found this. Nothing. Okay, I will start. Thank you, Thomas, for a short introduction of me. I'm working, just a couple of things to add. I'm working for municipality for 2 years, more than 2 years, 2.5 maybe. My background is in commercial field. Before my last job before the municipality, I was head of architecture department in biggest IT distributor in Ukraine. So I'm not like I'm not the municipal servant from my birth. Yeah, and my commercial background, of course, is helping me a lot. I'm responsible for all the IT portfolio, all the project portfolio from the IT perspective in Kyiv City Council. One of our main product is Kyiv Digital App. It's one app, how we call it, the city in the pocket, that is holding that is a main informational and communicational channel between the city and the citizens and guests of the city. This application was developed 2 years ago and now has a lot of different functionality. Today, in my webinar, I will cover some of the functionality that has the application with the stories, how we developed it and what results we're having through this functionality. Maybe, just share our experience and our outcomes. My presentation is consists of the slides that has screenshots of the functionality. Some of them are in Ukrainian, sorry for that, so please don't try to read it. It just like the thesis is for my story. What we're having now, so starting from the launch date, it was 5th of January 2021 to now, until now, it has more than 2 million users. Considering that Kyiv has 3.5 million population now, 2 million is almost like the majority of grown-up population. So almost every adult person living in Kyiv has the application and uses it for the different purposes. Our roadmap, what we are having in application and what we are planning to add. So we are now covering the transportation sector, is electronic tickets. I will show it later. Parking, everything that is needed for the survival in the emergency time. That was war made up to do this, and different digital IDs and passes. Also, we are making a lot of efforts in e-democracy field, and we have a lot of functionality now from the e-democracy perspective in the application. We are continuously adding different municipal services. I will tell about this later. Our next domains that we are going to add to the application is educational, medical sphere, and the sphere of active citizenship. So going into the functionality, it was like the first and the main purpose, the first function that was present in the application, it was electronic ticket that is now developing. It is covering, this functionality is covering all the municipal transport. For now, it is not covering the private transport. We have a lot of private buses, but it is also in plans. But all the municipal transport like buses, trams, trolley buses, metro, underground is covered by e-ticket system. So you can, in the app, very easy, you can purchase one-time ticket, or you can add your transport card to the application, top up your transport card through the applications using Apple Pay, so it's a lot of different variety of functionality, how to purchase the ticket easily. And also this year, it's not connected to the app directly, but this year we introduced contactless payment. I mean, it's not for your cities. I think it's not something like super innovative, but it was really hard project because some of the equipment was legacy and we had to do a lot of development work. Also in the application, we have a scheduling. Scheduling is based on the GPS trackers that is obviously in every bus or every piece of municipal transport. So it's rather easy to find your bus stop or find your route and see in reality, in 2 minutes, the bus will come, or in 10 minutes, the bus will come. It is really important now because now in the wartime, because of the power outages, we are now having some problems with municipal transport. For example, trolley bus and trams are now substituted by buses because we have like lack of electricity. So, and because of that, the time, sometimes a person has to wait for 20 or 30 minutes on the bus stop to get the bus. So it's important to inform, have the correct information whether the bus will come or doesn't come. Another big piece of functionality is parking. We are very proud of this part because now we don't need in Kyiv to place this physical parking mechanism. So because it's very expensive for the city infrastructure to put a physical parking machine, to connect it to the internet, to get the electricity to this machine. And we don't have it now in Kyiv. We have mobile only parking functionality for the person, for the user. It's super easy. It's like 3 clicks. He puts his car, starts parking, and after parking is finished, he's finished parking, and then he pays. So it's super easy from the user perspective. And for the city is important because we gather more money, obviously, yes. So this functionality as well as transportation ticketing functionality allows city to gather more money. Another side of the parking functionality is fines. So if a person gets fined for not paying parking, for example, the fine also comes to the application and he can pay it like in 1 click through the application. And another thing that I'm not showing it here, but another part of this functionality is inspectors app. So the parking inspectors that like issue these fines, they have their own app, and in this app they can easily check whether the car paid or haven't paid for the parking. So it's like the whole process that is easy. And we are, I mean, I have to mention that our application now is also is also delivered as white label for different cities. Sorry, Thomas, I know that it's your. I'm from the competitor point of view now telling this. Yeah,
No,
but
this is absolutely fine. We knew this would happen.
yeah, but it's it's from our perspective, we can just bring money to city by selling the whole application or bunches of it functionality, some of them to other cities. So I had to mention it. Another functionality in the application is ecology. We have in Kyiv, we have full coverage of IoT network based on LoRaWAN technology that allows city to wind up any IoT cases, put any sensors somewhere. You need not only ecology sensors, of course. And before the war in 2021, we made a project of ecology sensors covering the whole city. And afterwards, we put information from there to Kyiv City App, to Kyiv Digital App. And it's convenient to get your information about air quality near yourself. And the other piece of functionality from this domain is radiation control. This was request from the citizens, I would say, because there is some concern or a lot of concern about the radiation or possible bomb attacks or something. Of course, it's not really connected things, but when the war started, there was really a problem when the Chernobyl station was invaded. So it was part of concern, and because it was a part of concern, we also put it in application. We have different kinds of authorization in Kyiv Digital App. So usually a person connects with a phone number, but as long as the person needs to get more functionality like voting, which I will cover later, or payments or something, the person has the possibility to connect through bank ID. So it's like usual thing, and get some personal notification based on the address he puts. So for example, if you want to get the notification about power outage or water outage in your house, you can put your address and you will get the personalized notification. Another part is digital pass. We call it this way. It's not the national document, because in Ukraine we have another application on the national level that is called DIA, that holds all the national documents. This functionality is more your pass or your document that confirms that you are, for example, a municipal worker. So if from the user perspective, if somebody goes to my house and doing some work, for example, near my house or in my house, I can always check whether this person is official or, I don't know, some bandit. Hopefully not. And also from the administrative service perspective, we have a physical institution where you can get some administrative services in the municipality, and through the application you can make your electronic queue and sign up for the meeting, for the service. Another big part is and domain is here democracy. So and it has different functions. So first, what was introduced in the application was the participatory budgeting. We have such a project in Kyiv. So people want to make some project, they put this project for voting, and if they are voted, then the city invests some money in this project. And the voting process for this project was in Kyiv Digital App. Afterwards, we introduced the petition functionality. Petition is something that is guaranteed by law. So every municipality in Ukraine has petitions, and of course we have petitions on the national level. But usually the problem is with convenience, how to is it convenient to vote, and the coverage of voting. For example, before Kyiv Digital app, the only way to vote for municipal petition was to vote on the website. So you have to authorize yourself on the website, go somewhere, and if you are the creator of the petition, you need to gather 6,000 votes. So if you are the creator, you need to put the link on the Facebook, you need to have a lot of friends, or you need to be some influencer or blogger. Now, because this functionality of voting is easy to use in the application, any persons with some good petition, any petition can be voted because it's easy. And another part of functionality that we introduced are voting. Voting, it's polling. I think it's better to call it polling. So any municipal or not municipal big organization can introduce some poll that is connected to the city infrastructure, for example, ecology, economy, or something. This year we made in the application, the last year we made in application a lot of polling for derussification. So it's changing the names of all Soviet Union streets or squares or something. It was rather popular thing. This year we just, the most recent polling, it was about usage of Ukrainian language in Kyiv. Because before the war, there were rumors that Kyiv is a more Russian-speaking city than Ukrainian-speaking city. That's not true, and now, of course, it's obviously not true. That was like a piece of usual peaceful functionality, I would say. When the war started on 24th of February, we, with a small team of our IT team, we gathered in one place and lived there together for some time here in Kyiv. And of course, we had a lot of different tasks, how to save our infrastructure, because enemy was near Kyiv, and in Kyiv, a lot of our infrastructure was damaged. And the thing, of course, all the transportation became free from the 21st of February, and the parking was also, became free. So it was not the things that bothered people this time. And we thought what important and what useful thing we can do, because on that time when the war started, the majority of Kyiv citizens already had this application. So we came up with a functionality of air raid alert. And because this time it was the most important thing. The system of physical sirens didn't cover all the city. It was old Soviet Union systems. Some of them need to be repaired. For now, it's the station is better, so they are repaired. It's already a year of war. But from the start of the war, it was in the majority places in the city, you didn't hear the siren. So Kyiv Digital was the only, for some people, the only way to know about air raid alert. And after that, we introduced the functionality of air raid all clear. It's funny thing, because nobody thought about this, how to inform citizens that it is all clear and they can go out from the shelters. When you have 15, 18 air raid alerts a day, for example, it's really important. Now we don't have 15, 18, but there was times. And other things after the air raid alerting, what we introduced was useful maps. Why we did this? We haven't had the intention to made something like Google, but when the war started, the businesses, Google shut down the ability for businesses to change some information about them on the maps. And I think they did it for the good mean, because when you have war, this mapping cartography information is rather sensitive thing. Some people with not very good intentions can use it in other ways. So it was like shut down. And we had to introduce and give people a way to know which pharmacies are open, which stores are open, everything that is needed for your survival. So we started with pharmacies, and it was like, we just put a post on the Facebook from the name of our CDTO, Chief Digital Transformation Officer, Petro Olenich, that please, if you are like a pharmacy, commercial pharmacy, municipal, we already knew the information, but if you are a commercial pharmacy, please go to this Telegram channel and tell us that you are open. That was like the first point, the first stage of this functionality. And then we just made a map, put it in the in Kyiv Digital that had all this pharmacies that is open. Some of them opened like 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day, 3 hours a day or 3 hours a day. And after the pharmacies, we put bread, product stores, water facilities where you can get water for free, for example. Technical stations from your automobile and petrol stations. So that was like a baseline, you know, that you have like Maslow pyramid, and this is a baseline what you need: food, medicine, petrol, yeah. And what I think in 3 or 4 weeks after living all together in one place, we understood that we need a haircut. Some of our people needed a haircut, and we thought that why businesses are not opening. Some of them are open, some of them were opening, but you had no possibility to get the information with which business is really open. And some businesses, small businesses, they thought that they're not allowed to open somehow. Nobody disallowed them to open, but they thought, okay, it's war, I'm closing. But if it's like 1 million people in the city, it should be open. The businesses should work, yeah, as long as such a lot of people are living there. So we made another like form and told all the businesses, if you are a coffee shop or like a small restaurant or haircut or cosmetology or something, please put your information. We will put it on the map. And in a week, it seems to me, we had already more than 2,000 different businesses on the map. And it was super cool story, because some of them like wrote in the comments, so I am close, but if you call me, I will open, I live nearby, or something like this. So it was a very important community-based thing. And another thing that we did was Wi-Fi in shelters. We also made like a separate portal, but I need to mention it also because in the Kyiv Digital App, we also told about this. So people spend a lot of time in shelters. Shelters usually on that time, starting of the war, it was like underground under your house. So it had no connection and no mobile internet connection usually, and they have no connection with outside world. So we made a portal where we gathered the requests from the people, and it were not the city who installed the Wi-Fi in the shelters, it was internet service providers, you know, small, big, different. So we just made a portal with Jira under it, with all this requests gathered and given to the different providers. And we covered more than 800 shelters in the first months with the Wi-Fi. So it was rather important. Our next steps, like immediate steps, what we are going to introduce in the application, just a couple of ideas maybe for the cities. It's notification from the utilities when if you have no electricity. It's important now in Ukraine, in Kyiv, especially because we have a lot of power outages, and because of power outages, it's connected also with water, with heating, because this pump that makes water go to the last level of the building, they're also connected to the electricity. So, and we have a big request to inform you correctly from the citizens, to inform them correctly about whether they have or don't have some utility in their housing. Another thing is electronic voting for the condominiums. So we have such a form of organization or of ownership when all the owners of the apartments in some building, they own the building. So, and they have, and now by the legislation, in order to make some decision inside the building, they have to gather physically and make their voting. But a lot of people went from Kyiv, or they are outside of Kyiv or even outside of Ukraine. And because of this, this functionality of voting is blocked. So no decisions can be made officially inside condominiums. And now in this time, these decisions are even more important than they were before the war, because, for example, House wants to make a decision to put all this budget, to put all its budget and purchase a generator, for example. Yeah, because it's expensive, and all the people that live in the house have to make this decision. So it will be the next, and fully virtual electronic transport card from the transport perspective. It's one of our goals. It's really a hard project technically, but we invest in it because in future this can be not only the virtual transport card, but the virtual social card, for example. So one citizen virtual card for all city services. That is one of our goals. And coming to the end of my presentation, I was once asked, and also asked by Thomas, if you knew that the war is coming, what one thing you would do before, from the IT perspective? If you are like somehow, maybe you're leader of any commercial company or municipality, or just IT leader or team leader. So the one thing, it would be correct and effective business continuity and disaster recovery plans. What I mean by correct and effective, usually in peaceful times, when you're making your disaster recovery plan, you take like the risk model, you analyze the risks, and you analyze the probability of the risks. And usually you start with like some small power outage or some server is down, what we're doing. And usually you don't consider super crazy scenarios, because you think it can't happen. My advice is to consider the most crazy scenario in your BCP DRP plans. I mean, the most crazy you can think about: missile attack, giant earthquake in the city, what had happened in Turkey recently, alien invasion. That's one I would really consider after. Sorry, I'm not crazy. I hope, but after what was going on, you know, the COVID and war, etc. Probably, I think we should consider alien invasion also as the part of the risk. That's all from my presentation. You can see my contacts if you want to drop me an email, ask some questions. I'm free, or connect me through LinkedIn and ask some questions. And thank you, Thomas and Bjarter, for having me here. It was, you know, very valuable for us to share the story.
Thank you, Victoria, for joining us. And if you could end the screen sharing, please, so they can see us a bit larger.
I will do it.
We are really happy to have you here, and it's an important story. And I'm always humbled when I hear the stories from Ukraine, how resilient you are, and how you are coping with a crazy situation. It is important, and the aliens. I'm reading a bit, and scientists in the US, they have scenarios for this, so it's not crazy. because they believe that if aliens attack, then humanity will clash. We will not be able to agree on what to do with those aliens. So and in the webinar 2 weeks ago, we heard about the Swedish municipality that had plans for how do we communicate with people when all internet is down. We don't have any digital channels. We don't have anything. And they had a plan for driving around with trucks with large speakers on them. Is that something you have, Victoria?
We don't have in Kyiv the trucks with large speakers, but we have such a project that we are also considering. From the connection perspective, yeah, so we have power outage. Sometimes it's like a huge power outage that is called blackout. So the whole city is, out of power. So, and of course, in reality, we rely on the generators, and we provide all the needed help and generators to mobile operators in order for them to hold the network, at least voice network. I mean, not the mobile network, but at least voice network. So in reality, that's the most realistic plan is this: to hold your mobile operators and to help them so that at least 10% or of their base stations will be up and running.
Yeah, excellent. And we have a first question from the audience. The rest of you, please type in your questions to Victoria. This is your first chance to talk with her. So from Werner, hi, thank you for a great presentation. Awesome app. We agree. Can you say something about how you and your team were thinking in regards of strategy for the launch of an app when the idea of the app started? And I can supplement this as well. So I live in Stockholm. I counted yesterday, Stockholm has 10 different apps. You seem to have one app.
Before we had before Kyiv Digital, we had some app that was called Smart City in Kyiv, but it had lack of functionality and it was not really used. I don't remember the exact numbers, but they had maybe 50 or 100,000 of users, so nothing. So we came with the idea to make the new app that can be useful, that is user-friendly or something. A strategy is a hard question, I want, of course, to answer you that we had a long-term, huge strategy, and we are now going step by step, by the strategy. But it's not right, it's not true. We had an idea that we are launching some functionality that is super useful and super handy and super easy to use, and that's all. So we launched 2 pieces of functionality: electronic ticket and the parking. By that we covered the majority of people. So we covered all people that are using transportation, both private and municipal. So that was it was the first punch, because if we started with, for example, e-democracy, that is not so popular. I think maybe not more than 10% of population are using this. Of course, everybody can, but some people are not interested. So if we started from the e-democracy, then it maybe was not so popular. But because we started with this anchor services, super needed services, that's how we got the auditory. And after that, we just thinking about, okay, what else we can do? What else we can do quickly, and what else we can do that will cover the majority of people? I mean, not every service that we can put in the application, we put, because if we understand that this service will be needed to person will use it once or twice a life, for example, and I don't know, register your business or something, then it's maybe we should put it on the portal, not in the application. So the short-term strategy is to put into the application everything you can from the municipality point of view, and everything that is used by the majority of people. That's a strategy.
Yeah. Well, was it also a strategy to build a strong communication channel? Was that something you were planning when starting the app?
Yeah, because when we started the app, we love this thing of communication with people, two-way communication. And when the app started, we started to try to find what important can be for this person. So we analyze if the person is using, for example, this or that route, then we send them address notification if the route is changing, for example. But we won't send the notification about bus route changes to a person who use parking and not use the e-ticketing system. So this idea of address notification, it was for us the main thing, and why we are loved. We are not spamming our users with not the information they don't need.
Excellent. And because when we were preparing for this, we also discussed the web page and Google as a channel that you cannot control.
Yeah, obviously, if you are a municipality or a national level or some other authority, of course you rely on private businesses somehow, yeah, and it's impossible for a municipality to build everything by themselves, but you always need to have like the other option, because private business is private business. They can have their private decisions that are legal, close the business, I don't know, so or close something in the functionality. So that's why, of course, we are not Google, but we need our second backup channel also to have. Yeah. I see the question here. Yes. I will read it maybe. Yeah. I mean, you have over 2 million users. How did you get everybody to download? Did Kyiv have any incentives, or was it sufficient with good services? The truth is that these 2 millions we got because of the war. So before the war, I don't remember exact numbers, but we had something like 1,000,002, 1,000,003 something. And because of the war, and because this the application was almost only channel for notification about air raid alerts and different other survival services, that's why 2 million people downloaded. So that's the truth.
Yeah, but the first 1.2 million, then did you do a lot of promotion to make them aware that it was there?
We do some promotion. I would not say a lot. We use social networks, any other marketing channels, Instagram or something. Also, we use a physical advertisement in the metro and etc. So we do promotion, of course. But why so many people download it? Because it just, it's convenient. For example, electronic ticket, it's convenient. Of course, you can on every station, metro station, you have the physical machine where you can purchase this one-time ticket. You will stay in the line to do this, for example. So it's not convenient. It's much more convenient to do it inside the app. So it's just the convenience of the services that gave us this auditory.
Yeah, thank you. So we have 2 minutes left. Bjarte, you raised your hand earlier.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Victoria, because you've definitely shown us how important it is to have a channel that can be quickly altered when your communication need is changed overnight. In your case, was that a conscious part of you when you built the framework for the app, that you wanted to build something that was quickly changeable when needed, or?
Oh no, it was I understand. So we had like a notification engine in our app that was not considered and was not built as a notification engine to give immediate notification to 2 million users. No, it was like for this address notification, I don't know, 1,000 users, and it was part of crazy first days of the war. We had to our developers team had to reprogram, redevelop a huge part of the application in order to have the possibility to send to this 2 million notifications, because usually application would crash or if we will try to do this. So it was like a part of not a part of the strategy and part of a huge work of first weeks of work.
All right, thank you. And we do not have any more questions, so we should perhaps wrap up. So first of all, again, thank you, Victoria, for sharing this important learning that you made, and again, a fantastic app you and your team has built. So please, everyone, reach out to Victoria after this webinar to discuss further with her. You can also discuss further with us at InnoCode. You have our contact details here, and we really love discussing digital communication with you out there. And you will have a new webinar with us in about a month or so, end of March, where we will be discussing a less severe topic, but we will be discussing what you can learn from e-commerce, even as a non-conversion driven web page or a municipality. What can you do to improve your service? And we will be visited by, correct me if I'm wrong, Bjarte, by Commerce Mind, the conversion experts here in Sweden.
True.
Yeah, excellent. So have a fantastic Thursday. Enjoy